Thank you, Senator Kaine. Senator Romney.
Mr. Libby, I'm interested in your perspective of the people of Azerbaijan and how in the region there is a reaction to Russia's invasion in Ukraine, whether that's changed public opinion, whether that's changed political sentiment there, perspective of the government, and what you see in terms of that dynamic.
Thanks, Senator. That's one of the things that makes this region so fascinating and so critically important. Azerbaijan is, to my knowledge, the only country that borders both Russia and Iran, and so it sits right smack in the middle of a strategic region, and its role in the former Soviet space is obviously very important. Azerbaijan has had an interesting balancing act to play, but they have been quite helpful with regard to supporting Ukraine, fuel, food assistance, and even after this dam was destroyed last week, sending in new packages of aid. They voted for the UN General Assembly resolution condemning the invasion and reaffirming Ukraine's territorial integrity. This is an interesting and fairly forward-leaning place for a country in the former Soviet space. If I'm confirmed, I think part of my job is going to be to try and get Azerbaijan further down that track. Obviously, there's ties of kinship and ties of trade and so forth, but Azerbaijan has its own potential role as a conduit, as an energy source, and as a counterbalance to Russian influence in the region, and that's one of the reasons that makes it so important.
Thank you, Mr. Libby. Mr. Ehrenreich, help me understand what it means to be engaged in a free association with the United States for Palau. What does that mean to us? What does that mean to them? And are they broadly satisfied with that relationship at this point, or is there some sentiment of concern?
Thank you, Senator Romney, for the question. The Secretary, I referred to what Secretary Blinken said a couple weeks ago when he was in Port Moresby. The compacts of free association that we have with all three FAS states is the bedrock of our engagement in the Pacific, and I think in the Palau context, that couldn't be more true. Like I said in my opening statement, when we signed the agreement, the review agreement just a few weeks ago, President Whip said, you know, God bless Palau, God bless the United States of America, God bless us all. This is not only is it the framework for our relations for the next 20 years and beyond, it's also a powerful symbol of the strength of the relationship for the United States, the people of the United States and Palau, and for any adversaries in the region who want to question how strong our relations are.
Yeah, thank you. Ambassador Kirsch, my understanding is that Djibouti has recently agreed to allow China to build an enormous facility in the port to accommodate an aircraft carrier or substantial military resources that China might have. Clearly, the PRC is making a play to have greater and greater influence in Djibouti. What should we be doing? And I know there's only so much an ambassador can do, and you want to have relationships with the people there and you want to interact with them. But do we need to be making far more private sector investments? Do we need to have more of an industrial policy where we're investing in projects in that country ourselves to be more competitive? What actions do we need to take to make sure that this key player at the gateway to the Red Sea remains a friendly nation?
Thank you, Senator Romney, for raising that very critical question. I would like to identify several things that in my current role as ambassador to Mauritania we are working on, because I think we do need to look at ways that we can push back against China. For example, in Mauritania, we have just launched a new project to help the Mauritanians combat illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing done by the PRC in their offshore waters, which robs Mauritania really of one of their prime natural resources. If confirmed, I would seek to do pursue similar avenues, but I think the U.S. has a really good story to tell about what we bring to the table, our transparency, our values, working with civil society, listening and learning from our partners. In Djibouti in particular, we are working together with them to achieve their, as stated, economic development goals, which seek to develop their human capital and create jobs. We have, through our USAID colleagues there right now, We are working on several large programs in order to do just that. We are helping them do job creation as well as youth employment through workforce development programs, energy, education, and health programming. We are also providing them with very robust security assistance in addition to our base. They have the only bilateral FMF allocation on the continent of Africa, and we provide them with other state and DoD security assistance as well. But again, as you noted, we should probably also lean into engaging our private sector using the tools that we have, such as the Development Finance Corps, EXIM, USTDA, to really bring our private sector into that market as well. And if confirmed, I would seek to leverage all of those tools.